Hello and welcome to the news at noon on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM Abuja. My name is Oikike Igado Kure. The headlines this hour. Fuel scarcity continues to bite across some parts of Nigeria. Nigerians call on government to commit more to provision of basic health care. On the foreign scene, Palestinian leader says no peace until Jerusalem is recognized as capital of Palestinian state. And in sports, FIFA fines Nigeria for fielding disqualified player in World Cup qualifier. Details in a moment. Please do stay with us. Another news. As the fuel queue continue in some parts of the country, Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has expressed a renewed commitment to ending the current problem of scarcity of fuel in the country. National Chairman of the Petroleum Tanker Drivers, Salmon Oladiti, on Tuesday in Abuja said the tanker drivers are ready to assist the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, in its bid to halt the ugly trend. The Federal Executive Council FEC had last Wednesday given marching orders to the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachuku, to ensure an end to the scarcity, but the situation had continued to persist, especially in Abuja. Car owners in Abuja have continued to spend long hours in fuel queues across the city, with many workers stranded and unable to get to work on time. One of the greatest challenges facing the Nigerian economy is unemployment, which has maintained a rising trend over the years. This is the opinion of those who spoke with us in Abuja. In this interview, some Nigerians expressed great concern and said the problem has become persistent despite efforts by both government and other stakeholders. They called on all to execute plans and policies that will reduce the burden of unemployment in the country.
It's so unfortunate that the administration did not employ in any agency or any establishment. When they are campaigning, they promise us that they will be employing 10,000 people annually, but that has not achieved. And this administration is about 3 years old now. Last month, they dismissed some people. When they withdraw the certificate of Intel, about 20,000 Nigerians will be rendered jobless.
Our youths nowadays, they're just roaming about. They don't really have any work to do. Some of them now, they've even given up the hope that there is jobs. So that's why they are going out of the country trying to migrate. So I wish the government could try as much as possible to look on this issue, not just about creating all these position skills for all those Libya deportees, but also look at the youths that are present in Nigeria and try to solve the issue.
The government is practically doing nothing. You've heard of this NPAR, and graduates are being churned out every year. You don't really see anything.
They're supposed to be creating employment and not to be still be rendering Nigerians jobless. It's very, very sad.
Government has not been beneficial to the youth. It's so sad. You see some youth going to Libya and all that, and you know what is happening there. Every youth now, if they can get an opportunity, the next thing is to travel abroad, because there's nothing encouraging in Nigeria at the moment. Government should not just in words, let it be practical. They kept on promising year after year. We know what they promised when they wanted to get in, when they wanted to come to the government. But now their promises is yielding nothing, practical nothing.
High rate of unemployment can escalate crime, migration, waste of manpower, and other social problems in the country. As the implementation of the 2017 capital budget continues, some Nigerians have called on the executives to prioritize those projects that have direct bearing on majority of the people. This call follows recent report by the federal government saying it plans to release the sum of 750 billion naira to ministries departments and agencies, MDAs, for implementation of the capital budget.
The budget is just there. The budget you discover will go to somebody else's pocket. They'll get on saying that they budgeted maybe like 50 billion, 50 this, 100 this. At the end of the day, it's just paperwork. It's just stories. It's not actually implemented. Don't have real government. We needed revolution in this country. If they can actually implement it, it's not just saying it, it's not just reading it every time, but to practically implement it.
Let them appoint the right people, because I believe also maybe the right people are not in place. Even the past government, they are pumping money into the system, but there's no result. So I believe the wrong people that are in the position are the cause of it. If they should employ the right people, test them before appointing them. By the time they pump those resources, there will be a change.
Power is one of the basics for infrastructure or development, as you may know. But if you look at what has been thrown into power, it has turned as if it's a conduit pipe. People have used it over time to defraud the government. There are a lot of saboteur in this system, except more is done. You're like throwing money into a bottomless pit. That is what it is. So we should be able to look at it very well, analyze it, and see the way forward.
As the world marks Universal Health Coverage Day this year, the people said there is an urgent need for government to stop over-dependence on grants by international partners and begin to commit more to the health needs of our people. Those who spoke with Human Rights Radio in Abuja expressed concerns about lack of basic infrastructure in some government hospitals across the nation.
We didn't know that my mom was diabetic, so she had a crisis. And then we live in New Nyanya, so we rushed down here and we were rejected because they said there was no bed space for us. She was almost born. I expect that there should be alternative arrangements and all of that. But notwithstanding, it could also be that maybe they have more than they can chew. Who knows? If government can actually make available more hospitals or health centers where people can actually access more, if only the government can also help to make sure that health facilities are available in some of these other areas.
To have to provide enough facilities for the hospitals to accommodate everybody, because if they can go outside abroad to go and treat themselves, they are supposed to provide for the masses here.
From yesterday, we've been told that we can't actually get bed space if we don't come early, so we are here waiting and hoping we'll get space. We got here like around 7, so we don't know when she would actually see the doctor to know when we can actually get the bed space. Government can actually invest more on building more hospitals.
The government to expand the hospital and have enough space so that there will be accommodation. If there is a space to build another structure, they should do so.
Inadequate infrastructure in health sector is something that has affected people in such a way that you go to hospital, they say there's no space. Before you move the person to the other nearby hospital, another thing may rise. The patient may die. Anything can happen.
Nigeria has committed itself to ensuring universal health coverage for all citizens, and fulfilling that goal requires a commensurate investment of Nigerians' own domestic resources. And from there, we'll take a short break, but please do stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And on the foreign scene, Liberia will hold a delayed presidential runoff vote on December 26, the Electoral Commission chief has said. Former soccer star George Weah faces Vice President Joseph Boakai in the poll that was held up for several weeks by court challenge by the candidate who came third in round 1 of that election. The winner replaces Ellen Johnson Sirleaf as president in what will be Liberia's first peaceful handover of power in 70 years. The Supreme Court on December 7 dismissed a complaint from third-place finisher which had said fraud undermined the first round in October. Liberians are eager for change after Johnson Sirleaf's 12-year rule, which sealed a lasting peace in the country, but which reports say has failed to tackle corruption or improve the lot of the poorest. Meanwhile, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas on Wednesday warned that there could be no peace or stability in the Middle East until Jerusalem is recognized as the capital of a Palestinian state. He slammed the recognition by U.S. President Donald Trump of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and described it as a gift to the Zionist movement, adding that Washington no longer had any role to play in the Middle East peace process. And in sports, FIFA has fined the Nigerian Football Federation 6,000 Swiss francs for fielding a disqualified player in a Russian 2018 World Cup qualifying match. The body, in a statement on Tuesday, said Nigeria fielded Shehu Abdullahi, who was barred from the qualifier against Algeria in November. The committee awarded 3-0 in favor of Algeria. Abdullahi had failed to serve the automatic one-match suspension imposed on him as a result of receiving a caution in 2 separate matches of that same competition. This sanction, however, bears no impact on the final result of the competition for the FIFA World Cup, since Nigeria had qualified before the match took place. Due to the sanction, Nigeria's points in the group stage dropped from 14 to 11, while Algeria gets 5 points. And that's the news this hour, but we'd like to remind you that Nigerians are calling on government to commit more to provision of basic health care. In sports, FIFA fines Nigeria for fielding disqualified player in World Cup qualifier. And that's the news for this hour, but you can continue to follow us on our social media handle. Facebook is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. You can also tweet at us at HRightsRadio. Thank you for listening. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure.